drunk from waiting. All right. I'm Maggie Hyde. This is Maggie's Mashup. So glad you guys are here. Like I was saying earlier, I got to curate this amazing show for you guys. Comics that are veterans and new from all over, coming to Palm Springs just for you guys. So put your hands together for all of them. So a little about me, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a single mom. Yay. And you know what's hard about being a parent? You have to pretend to enjoy all those things your kids enjoy. Like kids' birthday parties, play dates, their father. But I do surprisingly well on dating apps because my profile says that I don't want kids. Then they find out it's because I have 4. I know 4 sounds like a lot, but I love being a mom. You know what they say about having kids? It's a lot like making pancakes. First one's kind of fucked up. Probably should have thrown it away. Oh, a lot of first pancakes out there. But I think it's more like eating pancakes. You always regret having your 4th one. My first pancake heard this joke recently, and she was so angry at me, you guys, that she disinvited me from her wedding. I know. And I was like, honey, you don't understand because you're so young. You don't get redos of special days like that in your life, like weddings. Unless you're me. Then you get a couple. That's right, I've been married twice. You can't actually get worse at something. But I really did try. At the end of my last marriage, I tried everything to save it. I learned to cook, I went to therapy, I even took a class on how to give a great blowjob. And it's not that I learned anything that technical, but I did learn the secret to giving a great blowjob is pretending you like doing it. So I guess it was more of an acting class. Yeah. Did you guys know in the Chinese calendar that it's Year of the Cougar? Tiger. Tiger. Yeah, did everyone have fun celebrating New Year's? Anyone still keeping a resolution? No. I think some people don't like New Year's because it's kind of like a birthday. It reminds them that they're another year older. But not me. I'm still fun. I'm still vibrant. I'm still dating 26-year-olds. Yeah, I haven't kept my resolution either, but I did decide that I've been drinking a little too much. So I've decided to only drink 2 days a week. Today and tomorrow. It's always one or the other, right, you guys? So do you guys know what tomorrow is? Do you? It's April Fool's, right? I love April Fool's Day. It's the one day of the year where you can tell the guy you're dating that you're pregnant. Without being considered manipulative, right? I'm not a bitch, I'm just funny. You can also do this fun, lighthearted stuff like tell your children they're adopted, send your father-in-law a tit pic. I did mention I'm divorced, right? I really love the desert. I'm a little new agey, I kind of have to admit it. I like to come out to the desert every couple of months and take an inventory and write a list of all the things I want to forgive myself for. This time the list was getting so long I just wrote, I forgive myself for not finishing this list. I also like to do that thing of setting an intention for the next month. This month it was cryless. Not doing so well so far on that one. My boyfriend saw me cry for the first time recently. And we both learned a lot. Like, he learned I'm really emotional, and I learned he's not my boyfriend. That's not entirely true. But he is really young. And when you date young guys, there's always an expiration date. Because he's bound to say something insensitive, do something stupid, get grounded. But don't worry, I've dated older guys too, but that has its, things too. I dated this one really wealthy older guy, and he just had his guard up the whole time. And then when he finally realized that I wasn't using him for money, he was like, "You're using me for love? Gross." Yeah, men say they don't like gold diggers, but I don't know. The pandemic as a single parent was hard. Was it hard? It was hard for everybody, right? Yeah. Aren't we glad to put our masks away? But for me, it was particularly hard. I had a 10-year-old at home being homeschooled, and she came up to me at the beginning of it, and she told me that she wanted me to have a swear jar. And I was like, I'll pay you $20 to shut the fuck up about the swear jar. And she was like, how about 80? And I was like, I have taught you some fucking things. And we used to sit down to the table and say grace. Now we just say fuck it. It was even hard with my 19-year-old son. I used to always be like, when are you going to stop smoking weed? And then I was like, when are you going to come home with some weed? But you know, there was a silver lining to that early pandemic era. I didn't have to lie to my youngest about why I didn't want to take her to Disneyland anymore. If you're a parent in Southern California and you can afford it, and you don't take your kids to Disneyland, you're like the Grinch or something, right? It's like a spiritual journey for kids. That's why I used to tell her that the park was in Massachusetts. But I think the real reason I hate Disneyland is the rides remind me of a map of all my failed relationships. Like the Splash Mountain ride reminds me of all my hookups. Never as wet as I thought I would be, and God, I wish there weren't any pictures. And the Small World ride, it reminds me of divorce. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes forever, you're in the dark, and I'm just stuck with a bunch of singing children. I can still hear them. It's a world of lawyers, a world of tears, it's a world of secrets and wasted years. There's so much that we shared that it's time to beware. Why did I ask for full custody? Sorry about the impromptu karaoke you were expecting. Thanks for bearing with me. Did you guys know they don't serve alcohol at Disneyland? You would if you were a parent. They try to sell California Adventure as a separate theme park, but it's really just a bar for grown-ups. We would go there if there was a tire swing and a keg, right? Thank you, that part of my set was brought to you by Knott's Berry Farm. They have booze because they only have Snoopy, right? Yeah. There was also, you know, another silver lining to the pandemic for me. I had a reason to give up on dating apps. You know, worry about COVID and herpes at the same time was just too much. But you know, I hated them before. I really feel like dating apps have turned people into the equivalent of fast food. They're not good for you, but they're hot and available right now. Like this one guy I dated, he was just like Chick-fil-A. Warm, delicious, but my gay friends were not having it. And this other guy, he was just like Subway, a foot long, but kind of weird with my kid. No Jared fans out there. And the last guy, he was truly a happy meal. He left a smile on my face, but the toy was the best part.